Good morning, Grand Rising Kings and Queens. It's your boy HL and HL in the AM.
Good morning.
Not much, man. I'm sorry. Good morning.
How was your weekend?
Yo, do you have your
Man.
sound up
My
on your
bad.
joint?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was like, what's going on?
It's my first day
Your first day?
on Earth.
Oh wow.
I'm brand new. Thank you.
Brand new
to Earth.
You a big ass baby.
Yeah.
Normally they like 2 pounds, 4 pounds, 8
Yeah,
pounds.
no, I came out full grown.
Full grown.
Yeah.
Full row of teeth and everything.
Everything, teeth, hair, everything.
Anyways, how was your weekend?
It was good. Good. I went up to D.C. to celebrate my god sister's baby shower.
You always on your way somewhere.
I know. I can't help it.
How did your man feel about that?
Relax.
He relaxes.
Yeah, everything's good.
He's cool with that.
Cool with it.
He don't miss you at all.
Of course. Who wouldn't miss me?
I can think about 7 people off the top of my head.
I don't agree.
But so he does miss you.
Of course.
He doesn't get mad and be like, babe, you done went away 3 weekends in a row. You ain't gonna stay home and give me none.
No, we don't operate like that.
Yeah. These new modern day brothers, man, I don't get it. Man, like Joe Budden. Joe Budden is gay, y'all. Did y'all know this?
He came out this weekend?
Joe Budden came out.
He came out as bisexual.
That's gay.
Okay.
All right. Let me explain to you the whole difference between bisexual and gay. There
Right,
is no
give it to me.
difference.
Okay.
There is no difference between a man being bisexual and a man being gay. If you smashing dudes, you're gay. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's
Right.
2021. You can be as gay as you want to, and ain't nobody gonna judge you, talk down about you, or anything. You're just gay.
Okay.
Women, on the other hand, I think they can be bisexual.
Why do you say that?
Well, it's basically like this. Women are already emotionally and like they're all, lovey-dovey on each other anyway. They're all, what is the word I'm thinking
Affectionate?
Affectionate, yes. Women are already affectionate with other women. Women sleep in beds with each other. They have little lingerie parties. They smack each other on the butts and they're not even playing football.
Okay.
So women are already almost naturally bisexual.
Okay.
I would say bi-affectionate.
By affectionate.
Right.
Okay. I can see that.
Right. So they're only like a little step between being bisexual and being bi-affectionate anyway. All you gotta do is just kiss a little lower than you normally do.
Okay.
So I'm just more or less like, I'm just convinced that women on the most part are typically bisexual by nature.
Okay.
Whereas dudes, on the other hand, we're either straight or gay. And there's a spectrum. There's one end of the spectrum, nothing but dudes. Under the end of the spectrum, nothing but women. And then there's like a little line that goes through, and you can be mostly dudes and mostly girls and or whatever. But at the end of the day, the second you get any sort of sexual pleasure from a dude, you're gay.
So is it about the sexual pleasure or is it about the attraction? Because my understanding is that if you are attracted to both sexes, that's what makes you bisexual.
If you're attracted to both sexes, that makes you gay.
But not women.
Nah.
Okay. I don't
think
necessarily
about
agree.
it. And you don't have to, but think about it like this: like when women hook up with other women, right? They don't really change like that. Like they don't like their personalities don't really change or nothing. You ever seen a dude that was straight one day and gay the next? The way they talk, the way they walk, the way they dress, everything changes.
So what about down low men?
They're still gay.
Okay, but their personality doesn't, or their
personality does change.
Their presentation doesn't necessarily change.
Their presentation doesn't change because it's a conscious effort.
How do you know though?
Because if they were gay, they would be gay. It's like the fact that they're trying to mask up and pretend to not be gay, even though their personality is different.
Okay.
And a lot of times they overcompensate.
Okay.
They try to be more tougher than they are. They try to be so hard. That's why That's why I listen to hip hop and R&B. That's why I love everything, because I'm not masking up for nobody. I'm not pretending to be something that I'm not just so that people's opinions of me are a certain way. I'm straight, and any chick knows know I'm straight.
So you don't feel like women would do the same thing? Like you don't feel like women overcompensate, or you don't feel like
women have overcompensated, yes, because especially the gay ones, because they didn't want people to know that they were gay. But that was more of a time when it wasn't as freeing as it is now. Like for example, 20 years ago, you saying that you're gay, that was a death sentence for your social life.
Right.
Nobody wanted to deal with you no more. But now, it's like there's no as it should be, there is no penalty for being, you know, homosexual at all. And if you're homosexual, just be homosexual. I mean, I just don't understand why everybody is trying so hard to keep up the stigma of heteronormal. Was it heteronormal?
Heteronormative.
Yeah.
Well,
heteronormality.
I mean, honestly, it's because of statements like this where we're like, oh, you know, there's still, even though it's acceptable or accepted in some places, in some circles, there's still a stigma that goes along with it that says, you know, it's bad
that's the word. That's the world being wrong. They're not wrong for being gay. They're not wrong for being straight. There's nothing wrong, because it's, at the end of the day, whose business is it who you sleep with?
Well, exactly. But that's why, why should it matter whether a person is gay or
It doesn't. But I'm just saying that there is no such thing as bisexual when it comes to dudes. You're just gay. You're a gay dude that likes women. I mean, it's fine. But
so
I mean,
you can't be a straight man that likes dudes?
No.
Okay.
You can't. Can you be a straight dude that likes dudes? That's gay. That's the definition of gay. Gay is engaging in homosexual activity, right?
No, I think gay is an attraction. You don't.
Okay. So gay is an attraction to other dudes of your gender.
Sex.
Yeah. So you're gay.
Okay.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Homosexuality is being attracted to dudes. If you're attracted to dudes, then you're gay. And I mean, but that's what it is. It's not bisexual.
Okay. Some people will disagree.
I think bisexual is like when you get prostitutes.
Bisexual?
Yeah.
Goodbye.
That's bisexual. I mean, I wonder, what are y'all's opinions in the chat about, like, can a dude literally be bisexual, or is it just gay?
That's a good
let me ask you a question, Ashley. Mm-hmm. Could you date a bisexual man?
Is he like actively bisexual?
Yeah, he's like he's gonna smash you, and then later on, him and James are gonna get up and get it in too.
Well, I'm not interested in dating someone who's
sleeping with other people. Yeah. All right, could you date a dude that has been bisexual in the past and is just solely with you now?
Yes.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's what's up.
Yes.
I don't believe you, but
I mean, I have before.
Oh, you dated a bisexual dude before?
Yeah, I don't want to put his business in the street. That's not.
Yeah, okay.
Place,
yeah, but you dated a person that was bisexual.
Yes.
And was he? Did he have any ticks with him or whatever?
No, like when he told me, I was like, oh, okay. And then, like there was nothing like crazy about him. Like he's a masculine presenting guy.
Masculine presenting.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, if he hadn't told me, because I asked those questions. If he hadn't told me, I would be like, oh, okay. But he told me, I was like, okay. But there were, my thing is the reason why I mean, we stopped dating for other reasons, but one of the reasons.
Why did y'all stop?
Because we did not see eye to eye on other issues.
Like?
Just like adulthood and being like the way he handled business and life, we were just going in different directions. Like he was still ready. He wanted to play and like he wasn't, I don't want to say ready to settle down, but he wasn't interested in keeping forward with like a relationship. Like he wanted to just like hang
have
out.
His cake and eat it too.
Yeah, but that was
his cake penis shaped?
Possibly.
Ah, so he was actively bisexual.
Well, see, that was the thing. Like when I asked him, he said no, he was not dating, other people. But I mean, which is neither here nor there. Like I said, there were other issues or other things that went along with the relationship that made me not want to be with him, which is okay. But still, in the back, the reason why I say I couldn't date somebody who said they were still like out there is because in the back of my mind that would always be there. I mean, it's in the back of my mind. In dating somebody, like you have to be very, very open because in the back of your mind, what if you find out that he's cheating or she's cheating and you don't know with who, and
or with what
with what person?
But does it matter? Like for example, I know for me, my woman could cheat on me with another woman. It wouldn't even affect me.
Mm-hmm. I would be like, say that.
I'd be like, oh, can I get in on that? That's basically how I would be. I would probably be more or less like, why you ain't bring me in? And it could have just been a threesome because that's what dudes dream about. But like, if a woman cheat on me with a dude, I would be, upset. I would be like, yo, it's a wrap. And I wonder, is it the same way with women? Like, does it matter if a dude cheats on you with another dude versus another woman? That
absolutely matters.
all right, how does it matter? What's the difference between the two?
I don't want my man to cheat on me with anybody.
Okay, I give it. But you find out your man cheated, and you find out he cheated with a man. How do you feel?
I think I'd probably be a little more hurt. And it also depends on, like I said, if this was a surprise, I would be like, oh, because like you said, it kind of makes you be like, okay, cheating in general makes me feel inadequate. So it's like, okay, well, what am I doing or what am I missing that makes him feel like he needs to go somewhere else?
Right, but you're missing a penis if he cheats with a dude. So would that still make you feel inadequate,
absolutely.
or would you be like, so would that make you wish you was a dude?
No, I will no. Like this, well, we had a discussion about that this week, and I said I don't want to be a guy, but like if I had a penis for one day, can I say penis on it?
Yeah.
If I had it for one day, like. What would I do? And I was just like,
what would you do? We're gonna talk about that when we come back from these songs. We're gonna come back. First, I want to shout out number one, Teron and Steve. Yo, thanks for holding it down Friday.
Yeah, they held it down.
Joe from Fayetteville, appreciate you. Sweet Keisha, Mac Mama, what's up? Kofi, what's good? Y'all, appreciate all y'all for tuning in this morning. I know it's early. And we're going to what were we going to talk about when we came back from this? Because it was a good one.
If I had a
if you had a penis, what would you do all day? Yes. So when we come back from these jams I'm about to play for y'all, we're going to find out what would Ashley do if she had a penis for one day. Y'all keep it locked. Yo, and we're back.
Welcome back.
Yo, and that was Drop the World by Lil Wayne. Yo, so let me ask you, because we was going to have a great conversation when we came back, if y'all remember.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what would Ashley do if she had a penis for a day. Let's talk about it, Ashley. What would you do?
Okay, well, I would love to like walk around and show it off, but apparently
that'll get you locked up.
That'll get me locked up. So I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna stand up and pee a lot. Like I'm gonna drink a lot of water so that I just gotta pee a lot all the time, and I'm gonna just like pee and like yesterday I saw this guy walking down the street peeing, literally walking down Six Forks Road, just peeing in the grass. I was like, I want to do that. So I want to pee, and then I'm gonna just like. It's a gif of a baby elephant just like swinging his trunk around. That's what I'm gonna do.
What if you get a little one?
No,
what if like that? How about they give you a little one?
Well, that's
it's possible.
That defeats the purpose.
You've been dating for a long enough time. You know good and well. You can end up with a pinky penis.
Man, I would just be disappointed. That's all I could do is be disappointed.
You'd have an attitude, huh?
I would have an attitude, but I'd still pee everywhere.
So just so you know, most of the dudes walk around with attitudes. They got.
It's because of that.
It's because of that.
Explains so much.
Yeah, think about it. You just figured it out on your own too.
I know. Well, I am an intelligent woman. I'm not dumb. But yeah, I would just like I'd probably go like apply for jobs or something. I don't know but they still can't see it, so I don't know if that really helps. But
so let me ask you a question though. As a woman, if you woke up the next day as a man, right? Like tomorrow, Tuesday morning, you wake up, you're a dude.
Like a full on.
Yeah.
Like there's no mistaking.
Yeah, you got. I mean, your boobs are gone. You got a beard. I mean, you're a dude.
Okay.
Right. You got a winky woo.
Okay.
Right. Would you get surgery to recorrect yourself to turn you back into a woman?
Well, is it a permanent thing?
Yeah, it's permanent. You're permanently a dude.
I just wake up permanently a man.
Yeah.
Oh.
So now you're a woman trapped in a man's body like the transgenders claim they are. So my question is, would you get corrective surgery to fix that, or would you live the rest of your life as a man?
Oh, that's a hard question. Like, that's hard because I've never been anything but a woman, so I don't really know. For me, I've never had a desire to be a man, so I don't know how I would feel if that happened.
Right.
I would definitely try it out for a while and see what I could, because if I still had like my same brain and like still the same thoughts, I would be like, man, I'm gonna try it out and see what it's like to be a man and do stuff that men get to do. Like,
right. Yeah.
And then, but probably after a while, I'd be like, this is dumb. And I would be like, I would rather be myself again.
You rather be a woman again?
Yeah, because I like me. I've grown to love me as a person. So it'd be at this stage in my life, I don't want to like be anybody else except me.
Well, see, and see, that's what I always wanted, because like I've noticed that a lot of the trans community say that, you know, they're women trapped in men's bodies, or they're women trapped in, men trapped in women's bodies, or women trapped in men's bodies, right? And I was just like, I think it's kind of crazy how like the huge population of trans people are always trying to, you know, dress like women, or, you know, dress the opposite way and live the opposite way. And there is not a single trans person that's saying, I'm going to use this perception of like power that men have to make things better for women. Being that you're a woman trapped in a man's body, how come you don't have a person that is a woman in a man's body that's a senator? Just one. I'm just talking about like one example of.
Didn't somebody get elected this year?
Yeah, but I mean, that was a trans person that was female. You know, a male transitioned to female. What I'm saying is, how come there isn't any like transgender that chose to stay in a man's body and make the world a better place? Like, for example, if I was a woman in my body and I chose to stay a man because I know that men have this so-called power or this so-called influence, I just don't understand how come there are no, like, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
But there's not one trans person that ever said, hey, I'm going to be a man so I can help out women because those are my people.
Got you. I don't know. And it could just be that they haven't, there's not a person who's just been open about that. But I think for most people who are transgender or dealing with gender identity issues, I don't think it's about, I think it's more of a personal journey. I don't think it's necessarily about, okay, I mean, I'm sure somebody who said, okay, I feel like I can help other people. Like, I think maybe a lot of times the focus is on helping other people who are in the same situation. I've seen, you know, you see a lot of people who are maybe transgender or, you know, doing gender, I don't say issues or concerns, but, you know, you see they advocate a lot for the LGBTQIA plus community.
Right, I'm an advocate for the LGBT. Well, I'm an advocate for gay people and you know, and everything. I just don't like the LGBTQ community because they're becoming bullies now.
Well, I'm speaking of people who fall in that that category, not necessarily the, you know, the organization, because there's always the conversation about whether the LGBTQI community, like as a label, is helpful versus people who support people who identify in those, like, because remember years.
Yeah, but the LGBTQ community doesn't really support each other. I mean, they demonize anybody who falls outside of their line, outside of their boundaries. Like, for example, the woman that spoke up for Dave Chappelle, they bullied her till she killed herself.
Yeah. It's such a I don't like that topic. It's like, it's hard for me to speak on anything like that just because I don't know or understand what they go through. You know, like, I'm not saying that they're right, wrong, left, right, and, you know, but it's hard for me to be like, they're not doing a good job because, you know, I mean,
it's not even about me thinking about them doing a good job or anything. It's just the fact that I'm starting to see what the community does.
Yeah.
Like it's not from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see what it does. And it's like, it's no different than like all the other groups that put their agenda above everyone else's.
So and this is probably going to be controversial, but like, okay.
Oh, wow, you're going to say something controversial?
I know. Well, okay, so it's the same thing with like Black Lives Matter, not the movement, but the organization. The organization
that buys a bunch of houses and all that other stuff and spends a lot of the money on themselves.
Right. Yes. Like, I'm an advocate of as a Black person, my Black Life matters. And so I will say, yes, Black Lives Matter.
I think that's a stupid ass name.
Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter left it up for an argument.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it was just like, for example, there's so many other avenues we could have went with that. And I think if we were going to go Black Lives Matter, it should have been Black Lives Matter too.
Yes. I absolutely agree.
Because then you can't have a counter protest on Black Lives Matter too.
Yeah, because that I absolutely agree, because I feel like when Black Lives Matter happened,
I was like, this is gonna be some bull.
right?
That's the first thing I said. I was like, oh man, because I was like, they're gonna say white lives. I was expecting white lives matter.
Yeah,
that's what I was expecting. But they said all lives matter, which was genius.
Yeah, I mean,
as far as like, if you're gonna be an asshole, like, you know, that was a genius way to combat that. And blue lives matter,
yeah,
genius. Well, because they didn't say white.
Yeah. But with the Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter, the thing that bothers me is that you're taking something that I can't change. I can't be unblack, but I can be I don't have to be a police officer. So those two things are not. I hate when they use that as a counteractive statement.
Oh, I
to
hate
Black
it,
Lives
but
Matter.
at the same time, it was smart. It was a smart move to counteract that protest.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that I agree with it.
It's a safe way.
It was a safe way
to do it. But I definitely agree that it should have been Black Lives Matter too, instead of Black Lives Matter, because everybody who opposed that felt like they were saying only Black Lives Matter, which was
they didn't.
Not the
no,
case.
no, they did. They just wanted to say that Black lives don't matter, but they couldn't figure out a way to do it. So they came out with all lives matter and all that to negate it.
But
Yeah,
it goes back to all lives can't matter if Black lives don't matter, and that's
true.
And I don't disagree that all lives. Like, sure,
but if we would have had
matters.
Black Lives Matter too, there would have been an all lives matter too.
Right.
Because then that would have been like, that's why we're saying Black Lives Matter too. In association to all the other lives, Black Lives Matter too. And I think we would have got a lot more traction. We would have got a little bit farther if we would have came out with Black Lives Matter too. Because what were you gonna say? Black Lives Matter too? No, they don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but right, because Nicole says, I think they left it like that to have a conversation about it.
Well, they messed up with it. They really did mess up with the with that conversation.
And Joe said white people would still have come up with a reason to counter.
They would have, but it wouldn't have been it wouldn't have gained as much traction as all lives matter.
Well, it would have blatantly exposed the racism versus it being overt, or covert, excuse me. Sorry, words.
Yeah, like, I mean, because like the main thing was it was just like the main thing that I get from the Black Lives Matter protest was the fact that it was inclusive to black people, and it was like anytime anything is inclusive to black people, that's when people have problems with it. People have a problem with BET.
I remember that.
If we came out with white entertainment television, y'all be mad. It's called CMT, it's called CNN, it's called ABC, it's called Fox, it's called NBC, it's called CBS, it's called Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Pick.
Like that's
pick what white entertainment television you HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, Stars.
The crazy thing is and especially and it's I will say that for someone who has never had to look at it like to look for representation, it's difficult to understand why that is. When we created stuff for ourselves,
we're about to go to a music break.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, we'll be back. Said, I see your comment, and I definitely want to chime in on that because I agree. But first, we got some jams. Y'all keep it locked. Yo, man, thank you, Mr. White, man. Appreciate that. You're listening to HL in the AM on Oak 93.5 WRLYLP Raleigh. Yo, so before the music break, Said Whitlock, he said something really profound. He said, Black lives will never matter until they matter to black people. I think it's something along those lines. Black lives have to matter to black folks for everyone else to give a F. Right? That was his exact quote. And I agree and disagree with that statement. Because at the end of the day, I think there's violence in every community. There's gay on gay violence. There's white on white violence. There's Hispanic on Hispanic violence. And, of course, there is black on black violence. However, being that black people are the only ones that are talking about like the whole systematic racism and the police brutality, then he's absolutely right. We have to set an example.
Right.
Within our own community. We have to be the ones that, like, for example, if you can demonize black people all you want to, and you can talk about how violent of a culture we are and things along those lines. However, if we make it to the point where you have no examples to draw from,
right,
then what is your statement going to be?
Right.
And I think that's where Cedric and I agree on, because I totally agree. We got to stop all this senseless violence in our own community.
Of course. Absolutely.
You know, like, I think that we should be just as upset when a black man is killed by a black man as he is when he's killed by a white man.
I agree.
And I think it's like the N-word. I always use that example. It's like, as a community, we get so offended when someone uses the N-word that's outside of our racial group, that, like, you know, we want to march, we want to cancel them and everything when they use the N-word. But however, we can use it.
Yeah, it's a term of endearment in our
exactly. And it's the same thing with violence. We can kill each other, but nobody else better. And I think that's a stupid way to live. I think we should all be trying to preserve as many black lives, because we're losing soldiers this way.
Yeah, we should be, and this might even sound like all lives matter. We need to make sure we're preserving lives, period. But especially in the black community, like, we have to look out for each other. We don't always do a good job of taking care of each other, whether it's from violence or even just
in period. And it's because of, and this is the sad part, this is the sad reality that must be addressed. Black people bought into white supremacy just as much as white people bought into white supremacy. Black people look at each other as we're less than.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at
colorism. It's not even a colorism thing. I'm talking about to the point where the root foundation, why black people, you know, do each other so dirty. In a lot of cases, it's because we bought into that whole mentality that black is bad, black is negative. Like, for example, like a boss. You know what I mean? You don't respect a black boss the same way. A black person doesn't respect their black. It's not all. I ain't gonna say all. It's not a generalized, but in so many instances, a black man will not respect his black boss as much as he respects his white boss. Like, think about it like this: women go to work, and for the most part, they answer to a white man. Right. But when they get home, they don't have that same respect for the black man that they call their husbands. Some.
I get, but again, it's hard to. Of course, we can't make any generalized statements about it. That's what we
go to McDonald's. Go to like a fast food restaurant with a black person behind the register, right? And be behind a white person and see how that black person treats you too differently.
Well,
and for the most part, sometimes, because I went to this one spot, brother treated me like I was king of England.
Yeah.
You know, and I will go to that spot every chance I get. But at the end of the day, a lot of times I've noticed, like, I'll be behind a white person in line with a black person serving us, and they're, a boss to the white person. And then when I get there, what's up, bro? What you want?
It's I think there's a sense of familiarity and safety, and also I think there's a sense of fear. I think a lot of times we feel like, I can again speak for myself, I feel like more damage can be done by that white person to me than another black person. And I'm not saying, and a lot of it,
because the white person get you fired.
Yeah, a lot of it is, and I don't even think we do it intentionally sometimes. Like, I mean, some people do things like my sister-in-law and I were talking about yesterday on the plane. Like, we were getting off the plane, and well, number one, we got upgraded, so we were sitting in the first class, right? And the looks that we get or got sitting in those front seats, number one, and for not just from white people, from black people, there's some who were looking at us like, okay, and then some people were looking at us like, okay, like, how'd you get up here? And then even like getting, she was sitting next to a man who like stood up, grabbed his bag, and walked off the plane, but helped the woman in front of her get her bag, but didn't help her. And I was like, that's interesting.
And this was a black guy that did that?
No, it was a white guy who did it and helped the white woman in front of her.
Oh, yeah, white people are going to do that, and that's the thing. But I've seen instances where it have been a black person that helps to jump to help this white woman. It doesn't help us. I remember at one point, I never forget, this was at my best friend's funeral. Like, we had to help the older people, down the stairs, right? I remember reaching out to help this black lady. She had to be like in her 70s, right? I reached my hand out to help this black lady get down the steps. She smacked my hand out the way and grabbed this white dude's hand that was beside me. It's that type of self-hate that we got to rid ourselves of.
So that's
We got like think of it. The thing is, self-hate is the reason why we were marching to eat at white restaurants. Self-hate is the reason why we were trying to go to these white schools.
So you don't think it was the inclusion?
Nah, because that's the thing. The only reason they wanted to be included is because they saw white resources as better than black resources.
So it's not like I always
Me personally, I would rather have it the way it was then, just without the violence. What I mean by that is that like we have our own, you have your own.
Mm-hmm. I can see it both ways. I think part of it, well, I don't want to say, like I understand your perspective by saying, okay, we wanted those resources too, but I also, from the perspective, like, you're not gonna tell me I can't do something. Like that's my thought process.
But that's the thing. If it's your building, you should have the right to say who's allowed and who's not. My thing is, I don't understand why we was marching and getting dogs sick on us to eat green bean casserole.
Oh, I like green bean casserole.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like their food was so much better. We had black people in those restaurants cooking the food anyway.
But the thing is, it wasn't so much about. Look, let me see. I mean, I wasn't there, but
my mom was.
You think about it, like so, they were doing. It wasn't just about, we want to be treated equally, but they were harming us. They were burning our stuff down.
Right. And I understand that part. I understand fighting and standing up against that part. But the whole being included into white society, I never understood that part. I never understood the need to be able to go to what was the name of that spot, that Woolworths. I never understood the need to go to a Woolworths and eat. I never understood the reason to go to a white clothing store and buy clothes.
Because
especially being that, and my mom told, we had black clothing stores. We had black restaurants. There were black resources available to us, and albeit they might not have been the nicer parts of town, they not have been as nice looking aesthetically as the white businesses. But the thing is, instead of fighting to have access to those buildings, mm-hmm. we should have been fighting for our safety, our security, and the ability to be able to build up on our own and have our own. You see what I'm saying? Without it being burnt down.
Do you think about how difficult it was to do both, though? You think about that, like, because not only did we have to build and protect, like they never.
What were we eating at before? See, that's the question. Like, it can't be that difficult because we were eating at restaurants before the civil rights movement. They were black restaurants.
Like, yeah, but
continue to eat at the black restaurants.
Well, we had
make them better.
We had our own spaces, but they destroyed the. Think about like Tulsa. Like,
right, that's one example.
That's one example.
That's one city out of 50.
No, I'm saying, but that's one city. But I mean, that's the one that I'm most familiar with.
Right.
I know that there were other places. Recently, they were talking about. There was some articles about water towns where they would flood the towns and get rid of them. And I think there's some in Georgia where it was happening, where they're coming back towards the surface and they're starting to see the things where the towns existed. But they did that and rebuilt cities over them, made them lakes so that it would no longer exist.
I guess you're missing my point. See, and that's the fight that we should have been fighting, was stop destroying our stuff, not let us into yours.
We were, who said we weren't doing that?
We were, but we weren't. We were also marching for inclusion.
So we can't have both?
Huh?
We can't have our own space as well as be like...
my thing is, my mentality is, why want to be in their space?
Who said this? But
why did we want to be in this space? That's my question. Like, I understand that they were doing a lot of atrocities to us, and I understand fighting against those atrocities. Mm-hmm. But I'll be damned if I would have marched across a bridge to eat at Woolworths.
But it's not just about that. They're marching across the bridge because if I have to drive through a city or a town or a place, I don't want to get lynched.
Yeah, right. And
so that's what I'm saying.
And the thing is,
we're fighting to not have to deal with those things as well. It wasn't just about the inclusion. We're fighting.
But it was a lot about integration.
Yeah,
a lot of it was, and I think that was the part that I never agreed with, was integration. Not about the civil rights movement, not about being civil, not about being treated like, people and not have our resources destroyed. I'm saying I was against going through all of that just to eat with them, to shop at their stores, to spend my green money in their stores. That's what I was against.
Okay, well, so in my chat here, I have someone who's saying, Rondia, she said, because what we were marching for was because they were taking our dollars equally, but not giving us the same, like, they would take our money, but not giving us any respect.
But my thing is, we chose to give them our money. And I don't understand why we chose to give them our money. Like, we're still doing it today. Gucci just had this racist sock puppet sweater a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. And I've seen so many brothers and sisters with Gucci flip-flops, it makes my stomach hurt.
Mm-hmm. Like, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I get it. I also... I mean, honestly, would we exist had there not been integration?
No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't. I'll tell you why. That's the reason why the Native Americans was wiped out.
Well, I mean...
Because eventually, if you isolate yourself away from the mass white people and them demons that they were back then, if you were to, they would basically just shut you out and they'd keep destroying your stuff. So integration pretty much preserved black community, but that's a whole nother...
So in the chat, Nicole says, think about all the black towns that were thriving that white people destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reason. Well, if you're going to destroy our towns, you need to let us be a part of yours.
Right, and that's where Malcolm X's approach would have came in. Because like in the Malcolm X approach, if you came to destroy our thriving city, you'd be met with violence. Okay. We wouldn't just sit back and just let you do it. I understand that a lot of times they didn't because they were overpowered. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there is still a time where you have to stand up and fight. And that'd have been one of those times to stand up and fight.
So how long do you feel like people maybe got tired of standing up and fighting and said, okay, we're not going to fight anymore. Just let us in.
That's hard to say because the thing is, I mean, you're talking about like all right. And this is just real talk right here. Mm-hmm. Every thriving black community didn't get destroyed.
Right.
Not even the majority of black communities that were thriving were destroyed. There are still cities all across the country, especially in the South, that were black towns and black townships that are still existing today. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But there were some, like the one in Tulsa, like Rosewood in Florida. Mm-hmm. There was one up in Long Island, New York. There were some that got destroyed. And the thing is, in those cases, we should have been banding together to rebuild those communities. We should have been pulling our resources to do that versus like asking for inclusion. That's my whole thing is I don't want to beg anybody to be included into their life.
Okay, so I mean, how we deal with like a reference to the government? How do we deal with the government being involved or even representation in the government? Because
we have to understand exactly where our boundaries are. We got to understand exactly what they're not going to allow, what they're going to fight against, and we'd have to work within the system of restriction and then push those boundaries.
So basically we need our own little country.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like New Africa, like Killer Mike had. Mm-hmm. But not. It's not even about having your own country because the thing is, all right, if we were to right now build a Black Wall Street, right? How could they get away with destroying a Black Wall Street in 2021? How could they justly bomb and destroy a black community in 2021? See, that's the thing. All the fighting that our ancestors and and not even just our ancestors, but like our parents and grandparents, all the fighting that they did, they weren't fighting and marching and getting beat so that we could walk around with crack in our pocket and pretend like we didn't have it in our pocket so we couldn't go to jail. No, they did all this so that we could build legitimate businesses, legitimate churches and schools and things along those lines in our own community, and people couldn't just come in and bomb them. See, that's the thing. We could build a Black Wall Street right now. We could build elite clothing stores. We could build a car company right now, but we're just not.
So is it because we choose not to, or we don't have access to the same resources?
Oh, we have access to the resources. We have black billionaires. We have black millionaires. We have people with the resources available. Tyler Perry built his own recording studio, his own production studio.
Well, yeah, like
So it's like the thing is, like, yeah, he's one person, but I'm saying that's all it takes is one person to build something, and then to employ people, and then they take their money to build something and employ people. It's not like we're going to be able to just get it instant gratification. It's not no instant gratification type thing.
So,
It takes hundreds of years of work to build up something, especially anything that's substantial.
so Aisha said the unity in our community is broken. We
Yep.
treat us like a competition, and not like a unit of people.
Mm-hmm.
Black people need to unite to rebuild our strength as a community. Until then, we can't expect support.
Exactly.
But you made a very good point. Unfortunately, right now we live in what I like to call a microwave society, which means that everything has to happen fast for people to want to be involved in it.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, I think we've kind of set ourselves up to not think about long-term investments or investing in something like a new Black Wall Street or something like that, where we're willing to pour in money, resources, time, energy to build something like that because we don't see the instant return.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. We spent in 1 week, 7 days time, we spent $37 million on a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
We did.
In 1 week.
Now, when you say, okay, so here's we, that's the thing. Like, you can't, like, I understand you're saying we, people. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't all us, because
It wasn't all blacks, but I would say out of that 37 million, 30 million of it came from blacks.
how do you know? Was
Because white people weren't in line to chop Popeyes like that.
That's not.
Listen, I was in line. I saw like maybe like in the drive-through there might have been one white car, maybe two, and then the rest of them were black cars, and that's in the majority of the Popeyes around the country.
I don't know about that. Like, cause I wasn't in the
You
line.
was in Cary.
I wasn't in Cary.
You was in Cary.
I was in Durham.
You was in Durham with a bunch of white people getting Popeyes.
Listen, I went to the orthodontist one day, and my orthodontist was like, "I'm trying to go get a chicken sandwich." She is not black.
Okay, that was one.
Okay, I'm just saying, like I used to work in Durham. My coworkers, they put together a big order, and none of
No black people.
No, it
Okay.
was only a handful of us anyway, but we didn't get one.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Look,
ordering.
I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. I went to like 'cause the first Popeyes I went to was packed beyond. So I went to 3 different Popeyes, right? Mm-hmm. Every one of those Popeyes I went to, and this was in Goldsboro, Princeton, and Smithfield.
So what's the population there now?
It's definitely we're the minority,
Okay.
right? Every last one of them, it was nothing but brothers and sisters there, kings and queens in line. There might have been one white family, like every 7 or 8 cars, and that's just my personal take. I saw that with my own eyes. I can't talk about what I didn't see. So in my eyes, if it's like that in Goldsboro, it was like that everywhere. But anyway, got some more jams for y'all. Y'all keep it locked. I got some Scarface. I got some Craig Mack. I got some Jay-Z. So y'all know what time it is. And that was some Jay-Z and Ja Rule featuring a meal that Can I Get a... Yo, you know, when I first heard the full song, the real version, that joint messed me up, yo.
Yeah, that I still can't. I still sing the real version.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I can't say F words really good right now, but other than that, oh man. But yo, so change. I mean, this is a sad story, but it gives me a little faith in human beings, right?
What you got?
All right, so a Raleigh woman was hit by an SUV and died after she stopped to help victims who had been in a crash on South Miami Boulevard in Durham early Sunday morning. Man. The lady's name was Jasmine Harbison, 29 years old, of Raleigh. Her and her boyfriend pulled over to assist victims who were trapped inside a flipped-over Chevrolet Equinox. The driver of the Equinox had collided with a Nissan Maxima around 2:30 a.m. The collision caused the Equinox to rotate and flip over onto its right side, coming to rest in the far northbound lane of South Miami Boulevard. Harbison, who was standing on the left side of the overturned vehicle and trying to help, was hit by an approaching SUV, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. And it's a tragic story, but like, she died trying to help others.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes for that type of person, because we talk about how entitled and stuff, how these young people are, but here we have a young person that was trying to do the right thing, and she basically gave her life, you know, trying to do the right thing. So I can't show nothing but appreciation and gratitude to Miss Jasmine Harbison and her family, because her mother, Judy Davis, came to the crash site on Sunday morning for a sense of closure. She's like, we just don't feel like it's real. It still doesn't feel real to us, is what, she had said.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like, yo, you raised one hell of a daughter, Miss Judy Davis, and shout out to you, kudos to you. And I'm sorry that such a good person was taken from us, at such a young age.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Like it's very sad. But like you said, the beauty in it is that, what she was doing at the time speaks
volumes.
It speaks volumes to the type of person, the character she has. And I mean, you can't buy character.
You can't buy character. You can't rent it. You can't steal it. You can't pretend to have it. It's something that's just in you. And obviously she has strong enough character, because I know me, I would have just kept driving. I know I would have kept driving.
No, I wonder, like, is it something where she actually, like, saw it happen and maybe that's why she got up? Because, like, I've seen a crash happen before and my first instinct was to stop and make sure they're okay.
I've seen crashes happen too, and my instinct was to mind my own business.
I remember this is several years ago, but I remember my sister-in-law and I were driving and we saw the crash happen. We were behind it, and we were stuck in traffic for a minute, and it was no big deal, but we saw the driver get out and she was pregnant. And so, like, my first instinct,
sound like a setup.
Nah,
she get out pregnant. Oh, my baby. Next thing you know, you get out and two cats is robbing you.
I mean, they weren't gonna get anything.
It was gonna be practice.
They would be real mad. They'd be like, "Wow, we stole her debt."
Yo, I remember my homeboy got robbed. Right, he ain't had no money, and he said that the robber, after he found out he ain't had no, he said, "I had to shoot your broke ass." like, could you imagine pissing off a robber so much that he just shoots you he don't even get to rob you. He just shoots you just because he's mad that you ain't had nothing on.
I mean, that's. I mean, I'm sure it's not the first time it's happened either.
Nah.
I mean, it was so. If we were by ourselves and there was it was like literally afternoon. It was Saturday afternoon traffic. Like, there was several cars out there. There were several people stopped, but my first instinct was to hop out and she was a young black girl, and she was I don't know why I just did. And that's just kind of who I am now. I help people, probably sometimes to my own detriment. I don't.
And then we got the latest reports of badass kids. So a group of students stole car keys and cash from a North Carolina school teacher's purse before crashing the vehicle into a tree.
Yep.
The reports from the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office says that a suspect took car keys and a purse with cash from the tote bag of a teacher at Raleigh Middle School. This is a middle school now. At Raleigh Middle School. Now, Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools also confirmed the incident. See, Winston-Salem police spotted the vehicle around 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Hours later, the sheriff's office said a person driving the stolen Jeep Cherokee crashed into a tree. The driver fled, and 3 juvenile passengers were taken to the hospital for injuries that were not considered life-threatening.
Middle school, though?
Middle school.
High school, yeah. Middle school,
school, yo, these kids is doing this kind of stuff. These are the people that's gonna be taking care of us when we get old. Kids doing stupid stuff, man. And that's why, you have kids? Nah, this is why. Because that'd have been my son. I know me.
Yeah.
I know what my seed would do. My seed would do something that stupid.
I can see that. I'm sorry. I can.
You can see my kid doing that, right?
I can see you having a
little badass kid, man. A little badass, mouthy ass kid. I know me.
Here come HL's little boy.
Yeah. Ain't nobody gonna want to deal with him. Nobody wanted to deal with me when I was a kid.
But how do we break that cycle though?
Man, beat them. You beat these little mugs.
So you think it's lack of discipline that has kids out here like this?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's family structure, things like that. What can really be done? Because you can't beat your kids anymore. I don't know. We can discipline them. We can't beat them though. You can't, because somebody will find out, or somebody will do something. It's a lot easier. I remember one time in my life I told my parents I was going to say something for getting a whooping. That was it. That's all I need. I never did. I knew better.
I got my ass whooped so much. It
better.
wasn't even about like to me. I'm gonna tell you, and this is where getting your ass whooped on the daily kind of affects you. Eventually, it stops being about right and wrong and about not getting caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was the thing about me. Every ass woman showed me, dang, I shouldn't have got caught and tried this way next time.
Like, just don't be dumb.
Yeah. Like that's,
caught.
I think my parents actually whooped my ass because I got caught. That was it.
They're like, why are you so dumb?
Yeah, like why you stupid? Like I'm gonna beat your ass just for you being dumb. Yeah, but the thing is, you can't like he said you can definitely beat your kids, but you can't beat your kids. You can't like you used to.
Yeah.
Like back in the day. Like in a situation like this, my parents would have walked into the sheriff's office and whooped me in front of the sheriff, and all they would have did was like high five and clap, like, yeah, that's how you raise them, that's how you parent them.
Yeah, it's also that village mentality that we've gotten away from. Like
that's because people are messed up in the head now, and it ain't the same village.
Yeah,
it used to be a village of upstanding people. Now it's a bunch of people that's probably trying to smash your kid and stuff.
Right, which is.
Like imagine, because back in the day, wasn't nobody trying to smash me. Wasn't nobody trying to, you know what I'm saying? They would beat my brakes off, but they weren't trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Like that's still,
getting into this good little boy stuff.
The good little boy stuff.
But nowadays, nowadays now they trying to, they get you in their house. You never know what kind of traumas you might end up with.
The crazy part is I remember growing up and my mom, like I was like, can I spend the night at so-and-so's house? My mom said, I don't know their people. I don't know their parents. And I mean
that makes sense now.
It makes a lot of sense now. Like I don't have my I don't have my own children, but I have my nephews, and I am super protective about who I introduce them to or who like. I just don't trust everybody, and it's not that people are bad, but I don't know. People are bad. I don't know I don't know your thought process. I don't know how you're raised. I don't know. I don't know if you're a pedophile. Yeah, I don't know what you're serving. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and then on top of that, right, so I read this other article. A Durham woman has been charged with stealing more than $900,000 from North Carolina Central University. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Like, and Aggie would never.
Aggie would never do such an atrocity. But according to the arrest warrant, Ward took $900,284 from North Carolina Central Bookstore and Food Services Department between January 2018 and last April. During that period, she was the office manager for the school's Eagle Card, which students use to access their meal plans and buy books, as well as register for classes, check out library books, attend campus events, and use laundry services. And she got $900,000 from your babies. Your babies out here trying to get an education. Now, the kids got what they needed. The school got swiped. You know what I mean? Because the kids got their cars were loaded and stuff like that. So you won't steal from the babies. Right. She was stealing from them from the school. The school. But still, $900,000. That's a lot of, she's held, and her bond is $1 million. Yeah. So she come up with $900,000. I mean, I'm sorry, $100,000. Not actually $90,726, and she's out. She got it.
My question is, what did she do with the money too? Because is the question.
Probably bought scratch offs. Scratch offs. You ever be behind that cat buying scratch offs in the line at a gas station?
And they want to scratch it, and I'm like, no, move.
Like, if you don't get your black ass out the way.
I'm just trying to get my Aquafina. Go.
You buy an Aquafina from a gas station. You ain't go to Smart Water. I had more respect for you than that, Ashley.
So here's the thing about Smart Water. This is maybe it's dumb why I don't like it, but because when you open it, it's always full all the way to the top, and it spills on you, and frustrates me.
I want my full water. I want all the water. I want all of it. I don't want just like a couple of. I want. Like for example, have you noticed that McDonald's don't fill your cups all the way up no more?
Yeah, listen, I would be like, go ahead and fill that up for me.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, tap that off, please. Yeah. But but something that I did want to talk about that was important to me was this Aaron Rodgers situation. I don't know if you're aware, but Aaron Rodgers recently tested positive for COVID. Oh. He's been sidelined until November 14th under the NFL COVID protocol. The problem is that he lied about being vaccinated. Well, he never lied. He just never said he wasn't vaccinated. So the thing is, and this is the sad part, why, like Aaron Rodgers, even though he's in a little hot water, it's nowhere near how bad it was for Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, like they've made those. I think they've used him as an example.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, here you got the similar offense, except for this cat lied. You know, he did it dishonorably, dishonestly. And didn't get COVID vaccine, didn't get vaccinated, then catches COVID, exposes his whole team to COVID, you know, where Kyrie at least just said, I'm not getting it, I'm not showing up if y'all don't want me to show up, but I'm not getting the vaccine. They're both anti-vax. However, Aaron Rodgers, in one hand, is not, I ain't gonna say he's being praised, but he's not being scrutinized to the level that Kyrie was.
What do you think the reason is for that?
White. He's white, man. Come on. That they're both essential employees, basically, to their team. He's the quarterback. Kyrie's the point guard. I mean, they're literally the same position as far as their responsibility on the team, getting the ball to the players. So that they're both key figures on a team, on a sports team that are getting paid millions of dollars. The only difference is Aaron Rodgers is white and Kyrie Irving's black.
So Joe said they said his teammates knew, it was just the media that he lied to. So that's maybe the difference. I mean, I understand there's a major difference, but maybe the difference is that he told the media one thing and then the rest of the team knew. So maybe they knew.
Yeah, plus he's coming back after his joint is up and Kyrie ain't.
Right, right. And so maybe it wasn't a big deal because it's like, okay, well, he's going to do his thing now and going about his business.
Oh, they're going to change that rule. Kyrie's still getting $17 million while sitting at home unvaccinated. They're going to change that up as soon as the CBA gets a chance. But also, I just want to do another shout out because there's a bunch of people that popped up since the last one. So we'll start off with DJ78. Appreciate you for tuning in, brother. Cedric Whitlock, Maggot Brain Trap. Love you, bro. Appreciate you. I'm gonna see you Thursday, man. We're gonna rock out that show together. Nice. Sweet Keisha, what's up? Nicole, what's up? Aisha, my homie, what's good with you? Nexus Tech. I already shouted out Joe from Fayetteville, but why not? Joe from Fayetteville does a lot for us. And we got a first-time listener, Miss Sherry. So appreciate you, Sherry, for listening. Appreciate that. Man, we got some more jams for you. I got some DMX. I got some Dr. Dre. I got some Snoop, which will probably close us out. So before we go, Ashley, is there anything you got to say or want to say to the people?
Just thank y'all for tuning in with us. Thank you for rocking with us every week, and especially on Mondays when your favorite person is here, which is me.
You're not the favorite person.
With your favorite person here, which is me.
You're not the favorite person.
With your favorite person here, which is me.
You're not their favorite person.
Okay, well.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
They can't see me. So, shout out to Ron. We got my 34 today. So, you know.
Actually, we got the 58.
We got the 58 today, to Ron. We on our way. So, but just appreciate you guys for being with us every week. I don't think I have anything. Oh, no, I lied. No, that's next week. I don't have anything going on this week. I think I'm going to just relax this weekend. How about that?
Okay, yeah. This week, you can catch me in Fayetteville. I got a show Thursday. I got a show Friday. The one on Thursday is going to be at Aqua with my boy Maggot Brain Trap, Cedric Whitlock. I'm looking forward to it. It's a contest. I don't like contests, though. But I'm still going to come out there and just perform. I ain't really about the winning for me. And then on Friday, I got a show with Ace Brown and Aisha. I can't remember the name of the venue, but it's somewhere in Fayetteville. So we're going to get that going. But until then, I love each and every one of y'all. Appreciate y'all for listening. And go ahead and rock out for a little bit. I might be back depending upon how time permits. Keep it locked. Bye. Yo, I had to come back, man. You know how like you scroll through Facebook? So I was I just opened up the app. Right?
Okay.
And I don't know if y'all know about Cedric Whitlock. You know, he's actually in our chat right now, as a matter of fact. Maggot Brain Trap is what he goes by, is my boy. And I knew his story, but I was reading Fayetteville Observer. The Fayetteville Observer posted an article this morning involving the death of his son. Did you know about his son being murdered?
I did.
Yeah, so basically, I'm just going to read part of it. So Cedrian Whitlock, 19, was found by his father, Cedric Whitlock, leaning against the side of his next-door neighbor's house just after 8 a.m. March 8th. They still haven't found any answers to the tragic death of their son. And the thing that broke my heart was, he said, that's the a quote from Cedric Whitlock said, "That's the last vision I have of my son, him laying out there in the cold dead." And they've been searching for justice since March. The night that he was killed, he left home about 7:30 to meet up with a friend. At 8:17, police were called to the 2800 block of Blockade Runner Drive, less than a half a mile from where the Whitlock family home was. And Cedric and his wife Dawn said that the family heard the gunshots, but that after 20 minutes, police had determined the area was safe and left the scene. When Cedarion wasn't, I'm sorry, please forgive me if I'm not saying the name right, but when Cedarion wasn't home by the time they went to bed, they didn't think anything of it. He's 19. He said, I passed curfew before. Cedric said it was as he was taking his daughter to school the following morning that he spotted Cedrion's body lying beside the neighbor's house just yards from the Whitlock home on Windjammer Circle. Cedrion's younger brother saw his body before police arrived, and neighbors helped keep his younger two sisters away from the scene because the loss has been really difficult for the children. So Cedric, right, he said he feels like his son will still be alive if police had spent more time searching the area after the reported shooting. They came to the scene, and within 20 minutes they gave it all clear, but my son was laying on the side of my neighbor's house dying. They didn't even search the freaking area. So like, that's where it gets really hard for me to keep reading. But I just want to say again, our thoughts and prayers, and we hope that they find out who's responsible for this. Because like,
you can't even put into words like the feeling. Like, I can't even.
I don't feel what I can't feel what he's feeling. He's feeling something that I hope to God I never have to feel.
Exactly.
And then to make matters worse, Cedric said that just 2 weeks ago, the memorial dedicated to Cedrion in the neighborhood was vandalized, and the cross bearing his name and picture was stolen.
Wow.
And then he said that several social media posts surfaced from teens who posted pictures with the cross. He said he didn't know who the teens were, but he sent posts to the detectives investigating Cedrion's killing. He has yet to hear back from the police from the vandalism. I don't know, man. It's like that's what I'm saying when it comes to like Black Lives Matter. They should, but they didn't matter in that case. They mattered to us. They didn't matter to those with any sort of power or responsibility to provide safety for us. So I just wanted to, like, I saw that, I was like, let me cut the music. Let me just give a shout out to Ced, let him know that we still are here for him, that we're willing from this, And anything that he needs from us here at HL and AM, just let us know. If you find out any information, if you want us to get an APB out, anything along those lines, bro, we here to help. We here, for you and your family, man, because I know it's difficult, and it's not just, I know it was 8 months ago, but that's not enough time. 8 years ain't enough time. 80 years ain't enough time, man. So I just want to say, keep your head up, as much as you can, and keep doing that comedy thing. Keep your mind distracted, because like I said, I only know it's hard. That's all I know.
Yeah.
It's hard to deal with. So signing out today, HL, Ashley,
we love you,
with 58. Yo, we love y'all. Y'all be good. Yo, we love y'all 58. And y'all go ahead and jam out to a little Dr. Dre before they change over.